Game devs. If you're looking at this video, you probably already know that in Godot, you build games using nodes. And these nodes build scenes. And you could have multiple scenes inside one another that make up your game. Now let me ask you, do you know what is inheritance? I ask this because Godot is built around inheritance. In fact, it's one of the strongest features of the engine, and it is really important when you're just starting out to understand what is the concept of inheritance. In this video, we will explore the concept of inheritance in Godot and take a look at how it relates to nodes and their classes. Let's say there are three pickups in our game: shock, freeze, and heal. We can see that they all share some things in common. They all have a value, an effect function, and a move function, which could be the same. And writing this code 3 separate times can get quite tedious, since we would have to repeat a lot of the code, and updating this code can easily result in a lot of mistakes, and not to mention stress. The only differences are in the shock pickup, there's a shock function, in the freeze pickup, there's a freeze function, and in the heal pickup, there's a heal function. So there's an easier and more efficient way to do this. We can use inheritance. One way we could do this would be to code a pickup that would have all the functions that are common to all the pickups, like the value, the effect function, and the move function. Then, in the shock pickup, we would just inherit those common functions and properties from the pickup and only need to code the shock function. We would do the same for the freeze pickup and the heal pickup. And another great thing about this is that if for any reason we wanted to override an inherited function or property, like in the heal pickup, we could just override it and declare a new function or property. But it does not stop there. Let's say we have a nuke pickup that has the nuke function. We could have the nuke pickup inherit from the shock pickup, which inherits from the pickup. This means that it would carry over all the functions and properties of the shock pickup, the pickup, and also add the functions of the nuke. If you did not quite get all that, please feel free to use the timestamps to review. Now that we understand the concept of inheritance, I want to take a look at classes in Godot, because it's very important to know how classes work and what they are. Simply put, a class is a template for creating objects. It contains properties and methods. For example, if we look at a sprite 2D, we can see that it's a blueprint for displaying a texture 2D. The class is called sprite 2D, and when we want to create an object, we create an instance of the sprite 2D in the game. However, it also inherits from node 2D, canvas item, node, and object. Godot does an amazing job of showing the inheritance tree in the inspector of the selected node. In the inspector, we can see all the properties that we have access to, like the transform property of the node 2D that the sprite 2D inherits from. Let's take a look at a practical example. I have here a simple pickup that I created using an area 2D node and a collision shape 2D node to detect collisions, and a sprite 2D node to display the pickup texture 2D. I have added a script to the area 2D node to handle the pickup's logic. In the script, I am moving the pickup by updating the pickup's Y position in the physics process function using a speed variable and multiplying it by delta. And you may think, well, hold on, where is that position coming from? Because I did not declare it anywhere. Well, let's take a look. If we click on search help and search for an area 2D, we can see that an area 2D is a class. It is a region of 2D space that detects other collision 2D objects entering or exiting it. If we scroll down, we can see the properties and the methods of the area 2D. However, there is no mention of positions in the properties. But how are we still able to get the position? The area 2D also inherits from node 2D. And if we click on node 2D, we can see that a node 2D is also a class, and it does have a property for position as a vector too. And if we look in the inspector, we can see that under Node 2D in Transform, it is this position that we are changing. Another example of this inheritance is shown when we remove the pickup from the game if it goes off the screen. We use an if statement to check if the Y position is greater than the viewport size on the Y axis. We are able to do this because Area 2D also inherits from canvas items, and one of the methods of canvas items is getViewportRect, which returns the viewport boundaries as a rect2, and one of the properties of a rect2 is the size as a vector2, which holds a Y value. Then, we emit the signal we created, stop the process, and remove the pickup using Q3. And that's how inheritance works with classes in Godot. Thanks for watching. We looked at a lot today. Core mechanics, no gimmicks. I hope this video was helpful. If you liked the video, give it a like, it really helps out. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you know when I upload another video. And speaking of other videos, why not check out another one of my videos here? This has been Godot Games.